Hi, it's Dr. Fee Enkelman from Burnout to Bliss, and today we're having a powerful conversation about your personal poison. Stay tuned. Hey there, it's Dr. Fee. I'm so excited to be here with you today. And I am a transformation coach who helps ultra busy women who are suffering from severe burnout to really help them to heal, to reconnect with themselves so that they can live with vitality and joy. And the thing with women in burnout is often they'll see it show up in all areas of their life, in their relationships, in their career, and especially in their health and how they get to enjoy life right now. So today's topic, which is your personal poison, is one that will hopefully blow your mind so that you can look at your recovery in a different way. And I have the absolute pleasure of supporting women every single week. We have beautiful, life-changing conversations together. And what I notice time and time again, and this is because of how our medical paradigm is set and our cultural expectations, social expectations, and our own personal beliefs that we can have around health and what's necessary when it comes to healing, that actually for a lot of women, they've spent many years, so much energy, time, like money on things that at the end of the day are absolutely useless. Okay, now I want to just soften that a little bit because clearly healing and health and life, it's a journey. And so even in the failures, right, there's things that we can learn that we can take together and hopefully be like that piece of the puzzle. But really in terms of why it is that we get sick in the first place, gets missed time and time and time again by so-called experts and people who are, honestly, they have the best intentions to help others, but are focusing on the wrong things. Now, I am an absolute advocate and fan of food as medicine and nutritional work. But guys, here's the thing. I truly do not believe that we get sick just to focus on a diet or focus on taking medications or supplements. And I have, many years, more than 15 years of supporting people, amazing people to, achieve full recovery. And they have shown me, they've taught me that actually that's not what is at play here. And I really want you to listen in because this is going to hopefully let you recognize that there is a more effective and holistic and just satisfying path of healing, especially if you've got an illness or you're suffering from burnout, overwhelm, fatigue, you got it. So as I was explaining, so many of the women who I speak to have seen practitioners from all different traditions, whether it's conventional or alternative. And for the vast majority of them, they have done a lot of testing or trial of supplements or trial of new therapies. And at the end of the day, for a lot of them, having tried so much and it not work can actually lead them into feeling a sense of despair, that they're broken, that actually, is this how it's going to be? It's this real sense of endlessness. And so when I'm here to talk to you about, today, what your personal poison, what I'm really referring to is the cause of why we hit that point of depletion, exhaustion, body breakdown. And this is the patterns that we are subscribed to, habituated in life. These are the patterns that drive us. And here's the thing, guys, most of the time we are in, being ruled by the subconscious, unconscious mind. We're in these patterns of just playing out 95% of the time. Only 5% of the time are we truly conscious. And this is a big deal because I ask you just to reflect on your life, okay? And to be curious. Have you noticed that there might be some patterns of sabotage playing out where consciously you know what needs to be done, the right diet, exercise, some lifestyle changes, self-care, but you get in your way? Rather than going for that walk, you end up, slouching on the couch and zoning out to some Netflix, rather than choosing healthy food options. Seemingly out of control, you find yourself fog eating, where you're just consuming chocolate, chips, whatever you can get your hands on. And at the end of it, you sort of come out of it, it's like, whoa, and then the shame hits. And day in, day out, the same sort of pattern, the best intentions. All right, I'm never going to eat chocolate again, right? Never going to eat chocolate again. And then before you know it, maybe 3 days, 7 days if you're lucky, boom, you're back into that pattern where you kind of slip unconscious and you eat. And for a lot of you, you might recognize that you're sort of eating your emotions. But it's not just with diet, and it's not just with exercise. It's really that sense of pushing things down and pushing on. A lot of the women that I speak to are just in such a survival state that their natural way of coping with things is to be distracted and be busy. They can find it really hard to relax. They find it very difficult to give themselves permission to be present and truly enjoy the moment in relaxation. They might sit down, put their feet up, but before you know it, they're thinking about all the things they should do. So I might jump up and grab that laundry or start folding it or whatever. Or, for a lot, it's just those patterns where you give so much to other people that you have nothing left for yourself. And with those patterns of giving so much to other people, of course, it's not sustainable. You're overexerting yourself to a point where that depletion then causes you to feel tired. When you're tired, you're more reactive and irritable. You explode, you react at your children, at your partner, and then you end up beating yourself up because there's a sense of feeling guilty, failure, and that's exhausting. So you may not sleep well, you may not be able to think clearly, you may make the bad decisions. And then you wake up the next day, you're unrefreshed, and it's like the hangover. Every day you're sort of dragging yourself through the day because there's all of this hangover effect of the previous events, previous days, due to this pattern. And I can go on, and there might be, we can really talk about different models of what drives these patterns, unworthiness, I don't belong, I'm not safe, I'm invisible, I'm not important, I'm not deserving. And at the end of the day, for a lot of you, you'll recognize that there is this critical self-talk or this, sense of failing or, fears that are underlying. You hear it, you notice it. Well, you're lucky. A lot of people don't. But you're also unlucky, especially if you have no idea what to do about it. So many people that I speak to have an awareness that actually, you're absolutely right. There are these deep patterns in place of depletion, of overwhelm, of nothing's ever enough. I've got to keep going. I've got to push this down and push on. And, at the end of the day, they might have an awareness that, well, I'm like this because of that trauma or experience of when I was 5. I'm like this because of the dynamic that played out between me and my mum. And so they'll live their life knowing that and feeling trapped or victimized or stuck with it. And what can be really, really hard is when you are in a cycle of powerlessness and depletion. Unfortunately, we often become that which we resist, that we reject, that we unlove, that we don't love. So, for a lot of mothers, it can be heartbreaking to see yourself play out the very same patterns that you experienced as a child. Do you know what I mean? You start to hear yourself as your mum or as your dad reacting being critical, being the mean mum, just like you had, and you promised and you swore to yourself you would never do that. You wouldn't be like that. I'm going to be different. But because you're so exhausted and at breaking point and have very little left, it's hard because this comes up. And it's not to beat ourselves up that it's there. It's there. That's the very nature of this game of life, guys. That's being human. But what can be, I guess, addressed and what you can receive support to and what you have as your responsibility is how to manage it, how to resolve it, how to ensure that it doesn't jeopardize your well-being and the life that you want, to ensure that it doesn't sacrifice your health or your relationships, the people that you love the most. So how does this relate to science and our physical health fee? I don't get it, you know? Surely it's that you're just psychology doesn't impact how we feel. Well, I'm going to challenge you on that one. Because here's the thing, you know, I truly believe our body is incredibly intelligent when it comes to healing and coming back to homeostasis. You cut yourself, you heal. We get an illness, we recover. We have an injury, we recover. It is magnificent. Yes, we'll have to give it what it needs at times to support that healing so that it can become quicker. Amazing. But generally, I think we discount how phenomenal the body is in its own capacity to heal itself. And I say that because I have the absolute joy of witnessing women like you and I, you know, to actually heal themselves and totally transform their health within weeks, even when they've been told that nothing else can be done. And so how that plays, although I guess the physiological aspects that underpin that is relates to, you know, the survival state, the fight-flight response. And we have two, you know, systems, the sympathetic nervous system and the parasympathetic nervous system. Many of you would know, you know, when we're in a sympathetic state, this serves us to handle a threat. And so what happens is that we get a physiological response that helps us to deal with that threat. And that's where blood gets diverted to the heart, to our muscles. You know, our brain shuts down and gets focused so that we can think about how to handle that threat, you know. Blood is shunted away from those sort of, I guess, processes that are not really relating to survival, but more thriving. So digestion, healing, detoxification. Because in that state, what we're most concerned about is, well, there's a threat, let's handle it, let's get out of harm's way. And it's designed to be short-lived, and it's phenomenal. But the problem is, and it's not about stress, guys. If we focus on, oh my God, life is so stressful right now, it's a losing battle, because stress and challenges and obstacles are going to continue to happen in life, regardless of whether we want it to or not. Okay, it is inevitable. What is our responsibility and what is in our control is how we respond to that stress. Because the thing that it's clear, the thing that is responsible for our physiology shifting is our perception of stress. You know, you could take two women, they could go both through the same stress in life, say, for instance, a divorce. One woman will completely thrive and she will just be, you know, embracing life and healing and healthy, and wow, it's like a weight has been lifted. And another woman will be caught in a state of survival and grief and really may not even recover. Well, what's the difference? Is it about the stress? Well, there's many factors, of course. There's environmental, there's personal factors, there's, you know, psychological and emotional factors here that are at play. And so what I'm trying to illustrate is that we can't just simply make bold statements like, okay, you've got stress, so therefore that stress is going to make you sick. No, it's how you handle the stress that will make you thrive or will make you sick. And that just plays out on a day-to-day basis, because if we are wired to focus on potential threats, i.e. we are caught in a survival state, we constantly keep getting triggered by very benign things. An email, a conversation, coming home and being faced with your partner, having to deal with your children. Honestly, this can keep triggering us into that sympathetic state. And in turn, what happens? Well, how does our body deal with that? We're talking about actual physiology changes. And with that, biochemical changes. And with that, we're talking about our hormones, our immune system, our digestion, our detoxification. These are all the things that are more focused or more that benefit from when we're in a parasympathetic state, which is our rest and digest state, our repair state. And so really you can understand how that links to patterns or our personal poison, is because if these patterns that are negative driving our life, then really we can get stuck in a point of depletion and surviving, which in turn shifts our physiology. In turn, what we can see is these warning signs coming in from our body. Our body speaks to us. Oh, energy crashes. Oh, brain fog. Oh, I'm tired. Oh, I'm waking up unrefreshed. Oh, I can't switch my mind off at night. Oh, I keep waking up at night. So on. I have low libido, my hormones. I'm feeling really PMSy. Oh my goodness, my bleeding is disrupted. I have heavy bleeding, painful bleeding, or, digestive symptoms, bloating, diarrhea, constipation, tummy aches, and the list goes on. And so I want you to understand that, yes, we can focus on diet. It's important. Our food becomes us. It's a very, very intimate relationship, of course. But if you're stressed out, meaning, you've been triggered, you keep bouncing in and out of a fight, flight response, you're reactive, you're feeling like you're under pressure, you go, 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 you can't relax, then guess what? You're not going to digest and assimilate that food very well, are you? And the same with pouring a lot of nutrients on board. And, I have done that as an integrative doctor previously, working and supporting patients when I was a doctor. And I would do the best that I could supporting women and men, and set up regimes to help them from a nutritional support perspective. And sometimes it works, and a lot of the time it didn't. It only worked for a short period of time, because the pattern in the survival state hasn't been addressed at the core. And so the body will show us that it's not as effective. Doesn't last, the effects don't last, or it's effective until, boom, now we get a new symptom. Well, now we have histamine intolerance or headaches, or now we've got digestive issues, or now our cycle's gone off. And it can be a really disheartening process for women, and that is what has led me, women showing me this and holding people by the hand in the healing journey, that to lead me to recognize, well, it's actually our personal poison that is what is making us sick. So in terms of patterns, as I said, there's many that can be playing out, and I just wanted to do this to share with you I guess this conversation, so that you can stop and reflect on what it is that might be playing out for you. Do you have difficulty saying no? Is there a pattern of putting other people's needs before your own? Is there some worthiness stuff playing on, which says, well, actually, who am I to put myself first? Or who am I to actually be happy and healthy? Big ones. Big. And so I'm just inviting you over the next week, as you're living life, looking around, What's the sabotage? What's the pattern that's playing out here? Is there a pattern of overwhelm? Is there a pattern of exhaustion? And when you recognize that, just reflect on, well, what is that leading me to? What's the consequences of that? How is that showing up? Is it overeating? Is it drinking too much? Is it being addicted to work? Is it that you actually want to escape life and run away from your family? You know, is it the fact that you don't get to enjoy the abundance in your life? You can go on in terms of consequences. And if you don't fix it, well, where is it taking you to? You know, because you can try and slap some band-aids on it, but at the end of the day, if you don't fix those patterns, where is it going to take you to? And so that's great to have an awareness. And then really, you know, from there, it's sitting down and looking at, well, you know, what can I do about this? Because at the end of the day, breaking a pattern, it's possible. It's truly, truly possible. Yes, it takes us blowing our mind. We do need to think and feel differently. And so, as already just by saying that, we can see clearly that there are a couple of levels that we can approach a pattern. One is psychological, you know, where we identify thoughts and we can change the nature of our thoughts. But we can't just stop there. You know, for a lot of women who I speak to, a lot have tried affirmations, but have you noticed if you're depleted and you try and convince yourself, well, no, I'm healthy and I'm full of energy, there's this voice within you and I'm sort of on your shoulder, sort of going, no way, man. It's your ego going, no, stop lying to me. That's not the truth. And so there is a psychological component that can be helpful, and we can really look at those patterns and rewire the brain and choose where we focus our attention. Absolutely. But there's other aspects which really relates to our emotional nature. And honestly, I can pretty much assume for most of you, if you're tuning in, your understanding and your ability or your knowledge, your understanding of how to manage emotions is probably pretty limited. And the reason is because culturally, we really don't pay much attention to it or recognize how powerful our emotions are. But in my experience, that is what leads to sabotage. We want to think, oh no, it's all about willpower. I just have to be more disciplined. I just have to think more, harder, be harder, stronger. I'm weak. No, I need to focus on what it is that I want. And we beat ourselves up and make stories that we're not very disciplined, that I'm weak, that I'm useless. That's what I've heard a woman say this week. I'm absolutely useless. But guys, willpower only works unless you're tired, stressed out, or out of routine. Is that not life? Is that not the nature of being an ultra busy woman? Okay. And so really the reason is because once you lose that, I guess, capacity, that really, that willpower, the emotional self comes up and demands your attention. So really at the end of the day, we need to learn how to identify our needs and meet those needs. And in my experience of women, supporting women to overcome severe burnout, oftentimes they have no idea how to truly tune in and understand what their needs are. What does that mean? And how to meet those needs in the moments, in simple ways. In simple ways. And just as an example of this, some people might do self-care. All right, well, I'm going to watch a movie tonight. I'm going to sit on the couch. This is what I'm going to do because I want to relax. And they sit on the couch. They make the decision logically. Okay, this is how I'm going to relax. And they sit on the couch, but they haven't made the decision emotionally. So they sit on the couch to relax, but they're beating themselves up and they're criticizing themselves for it. And at the end of it, they just come out of it and just be like, oh my gosh, what a waste of the night. Oh, I ate too much. Oh my gosh, I just wasted time again. Oh, I'm so useless. There I go. And in the end, that act of self-care has been destructive rather than healing and nurturing. And there's nothing against sitting down and watching Netflix. If you choose to do it as part of your self-care, choose to do it and bring your whole self to it. And tune in to really identify what your needs are and whether or not that matches how you can meet your needs, and then give yourself full permission to do so. And there is nuances to that, and there's a whole practices that we support our clients with and help them to explore what that is, and really help them to embody tools and strategies that meet their emotional self and that their own personal needs. Because when you can do that, guys, like, this is a big distinction. When you can truly meet your own needs, then you get to truly be present in life, and it's powerful. You get to embrace life in a powerful way because you are truly, truly present. You're truly full and living life with a cup full of joy. And you have energy to give the people you love and the projects you're involved with. And that's joy, and that's energizing, and that's full of passion. So it's an important part. And the other aspects, of course, when it comes to breaking patterns, there is a physical element to that. I truly believe that the body can get addicted to certain vibrational states, shame and blame and anger. I also believe that the body can get addicted to certain foods. I also believe that the body gets conditioned to feel a certain way, whether it's exhaustion, sadness, these symptoms. And so the beautiful thing is as we rewire our mind and we change how we think and feel, we do automatically rewire our body, and we do recondition it to vitality. And then there's other levels, which is, on an energetic or a spiritual level, that can really come in as tools and strategies to help us that support us to break these patterns that are driving us into the wall, that are driving us towards a massive train wreck. And practices such as forgiveness and self-compassion, other practices that help us to strengthen our soul, spirit, infinite intelligence, that part of us, the witness, whatever you want to call it, that bit within us, so that we're living in that part, not just the mind. Okay. And so these are concepts that I know might be very unfamiliar to a lot of you. But at the end of the day, the beauty about this is that as we support our clients, they heal themselves. And why that is important is because challenges are still going to happen. Life continues to happen. And what they want is to never come back to a place of burnout or severe illness. And what they want, because by the very nature of creation and, by nature, is that we are constantly evolving and wanting more, and we desire more and more joy. And it's not an absence of illness. It's not an absence of fatigue that we're after. It's actually vitality, and that's limitless. It's not an absence of unhappiness and sadness. We're after joy, and that's limitless. And so for our clients, them having they go from a place of severe burnout to their bliss. Well, that fills them with confidence. They get tapped into the power within them. And in that place, they get to discern answers to all of those questions. They know what is best for them when it comes to diet and exercise and life and career and purpose and relationships. And how many decisions are we faced with day in, day out? Whoa, so many. And so knowing that they have that ability to access what is best for them, they know what their needs are, they know how to meet their needs, makes them invincible, unstoppable, powerful. And that's what we love, watching and witnessing them, women, to come back to themselves and live in such a way where life is full of vitality and joy, and they can handle challenges in a calm way, in a healthy way. So guys, that is what I wanted to share with you. So really reflect on that and really consider what your personal poison is. And open yourself up to a new way of healing that is sustainable and long lasting and supports you not just with your health, but how you show up in your relationships, how you show up as a mum, as a lover, as a friend, as a wife, sister, daughter, how you show up as a boss or employee, how you show up and how you get to say yes to life and embrace opportunities and really live in alignment with your values. They're your values. It's your choice. As I say time and time again, it's our personal responsibility. You know, we have this one life, we get to make decisions. Let's make decisions that are aligned with what is best for us, because when we do that, honestly, we get to show up as our best selves, and that is an absolute blessing for the rest of the world, for our family, friends, community, and the world at large. So from my heart, guys, if you are really ready, you know, to make some change and really be supported in a profound way to break free of sabotage and patterns that are poisoning you and making you sick and leading to you being irritable as a mum or wanting to escape life, or, you know, just dragging yourself through the day and feeling like life is so bloody serious, then reach out and, you know, book a time to chat with myself or my team. And this is a life-changing conversation, and it's there to help you get massive clarity. It's really there for women who are at that point where they are, you know, they're ready to make that decision of no more, and it's time for me to embrace my bliss. And they're really resourceful and incredibly, you know, I guess at that point of timing of, you know what, this is what needs to happen, and reach out so that we can support you to see if we are the right fit. We're not here to work, especially with women who have been struggling for a period of time. Doing the wrong thing is not going to serve you in getting better. We're not here to set you up to fail. We're here to determine whether or not we're actually going to be the best fit together and helping you to be another one of our success stories. So be sure, you know, to check out some of our client wins, but otherwise looking forward to for myself and my team to be supporting you on one of those clarity sessions. And I wish you guys all the best. Have a great time. Bye-bye. Thanks so much for tuning in, guys. If you want to subscribe, just click on my head beneath this so that you can subscribe to the channel. And if you would like to book a call with our amazing team to have that life-changing conversation, then click on the button beneath this that says book a call, or you can go to our website, which is findingbliss.com.au/apply, and make sure that you fill in that application form so that we know a little bit about you. We can better prepare for the session and serve you in a more meaningful way. Awesome. Stay tuned, and I look forward to seeing you on the next show. Bye-bye.